Hi, Nancy here. In this lesson, I'm going to be talking about one of the two writer side hustles in this course, and this is the Kindle side hustle. Now, once you publish a book in digital format, you have a lot of places that you can sell it. Kindle is just one, but the reason I'm going to concentrate on the Kindle platform is because Amazon owns about 65% of the digital book marketplace. And what I have found by experiment, and other author friends have also found by experiment, is the ratio of books sold on Kindle versus other platforms is huge. I might sell 100 books on Kindle and 2 on Nook, or 2 on iBooks. Now, with the release of the iPhone 6 and iBooks being a default app on that iPhone, sales on iBook might go up at some point in the future, but for today, Kindle really is the place to be for a lot of different reasons. So let's talk about the pros of putting your book on Kindle. One, you can really quickly get a book up there. Once you've written the book, the actual upload, that whole process is less than a half hour, and it takes from 12 to 48 hours to get your book live and for sale. But once that book's for sale, you're making money immediately. Now, if you are a solopreneur and have some kind of business, and this is assuming you don't have a full-time job, but if you're in that space or building to be in that space, maybe as a consultant or a coach, having a book gives you instant authority. People see that you have a book on Amazon, and immediately you are an authority in the field, and you're an author. So that's pretty cool. It does help build authority. Kindle pays 35 to 70% royalty on your books, and I'll get into how that works in a couple slides from now. You can get started with a zero investment, and I'm going to put a little asterisk next to that. You may have to pay for editing, formatting, and a cover, but generally you can get by with under $20-25. You can make dollars on sales and borrows. Kindle has a couple of programs that they allow readers to borrow books. But you still get paid for the borrows. I wish I could tell you the amount of that, but it changes every single month. Amazon creates this big pot, and then it's equally divided between all of the borrows. So some months it might be $1.50, $1.80, close to $2. It's really hard to tell because it does fluctuate so much from month to month. But the good news is if you can get people borrowing your book, you're still going to make money. And the other thing is that's the real plus is that you can schedule promotions on Amazon's platform, assuming you are in the KDP Select program, which I will talk about. It does give Amazon exclusivity for a 90-day period of time, but with that exclusivity comes some pretty awesome promotional tools. And Amazon is basically giving you a storefront on the on the internet, and giving you ways to promote your book. So those are all pros. Now, sorry, you went the wrong way. The cons. If you have a book on Amazon, you really do need to get reviews. And yes, you can start with your friends and your family, and you can organically grow reviews. Over time, books are going to get reviews. Or you can give away advanced reading copies. Often reviewers will receive advanced copies and they can do a review. So there are a lot of ways to get reviews, but the key is you need to get them. So it means you can't just be passive about it. You may need to outsource some of the facets like editing and formatting and getting a cover. So there are a few dollars involved in that unless you can do it yourself. You need to pre-build an audience. Simon Whistler, who does the Rocking Self-Publishing podcast, started that podcast long before he had written his book. And in fact, I'm not sure at this point as I'm recording this in October 2014. I'm not sure Simon has even published that book yet. But he was very smart. He built an audience, a very loyal audience. He's got a great podcast. So when that book comes out, he's already got an audience for his book. So you need to think about who the audience for your book is and what you need to pre-build so that you already have sales for your book once it does come out. You're going to need to do some niche research. Why? Because if nobody's reading the topic you're in love with, you're not going to have any sales. So don't waste time writing a book that's never going to get read. And lastly, you're going to need a social media presence. Same reason as pre-building an audience. You're going to need to have a way to get the word out about your book. Now, how much money can you really make? Okay, every sale on a $2.99 book, and let me just backtrack 1 second. Books priced from $2.99 to $9.99, you get a 70% royalty. If it's under $2.99 or over $9.99, it gets a 35% royalty. So let's just say that you're going to sell your book for $2.99. That's why you see so many Kindle books costing $2.99, because that's the lowest they can be priced to get the highest royalty. You're going to make about $2 a book. Now, I said $2 here on the borrow, and it fluctuates so much, I can't give you an exact amount. But let's say that it's around $2. So if you have one sale and one borrow a day, that means you're going to sell 60 units a month, and you're going to make an extra $120. That's pretty good for your first side hustle gig. Okay, so say you have 2 sales and 2 borrows, 120 units a month. You've made $240 that month. And you can see the math here. 2 books, 2 sales each, 2 borrows, 240 units. You're going to make $480 a month income, extra income. So to me, this is all really good stuff. And, selling a book or 2 a day isn't really that hard if you've taken the steps to pre-build your audience and you've got some social media presence. Now, is Kindle a good fit for you? Okay, if you already have decent writing skills, or if you're willing to outsource your book to an editor to find your mistakes, to make them much better, to make your book much better, not your mistakes. Okay, it's a good fit if you have good writing skills or you're willing to outsource to an editor. If you're willing to take the time to write a book, or if you have the money to outsource a book. There are a lot of people in the nonfiction space, particularly in children's books, who are outsourcing to other writers, which is basically giving somebody else a side hustle gig. But you may just want to outsource parts of your book. It's a good fit if you want to establish authority in your niche, and if you want to build a tribe of readers who are going to keep purchasing your books, because it's a numbers game. 1 book is going to make you X dollars. 2 books, more dollars. 3 books, more dollars. That's why you will often see authors who write in a specific niche who have 10 plus books, because it is a numbers game. If 10 books are going to sell more copies than 1 book. So it's a good fit if you want to build up to a full-time gig with Kindle books. But if you want to just have a side hustle, maybe writing 1 or 2 books is plenty for you. Maybe that's going to make you enough money. Okay, this is not a good fit if you don't like to write. Of course, if you don't like to write, you probably shouldn't be taking a side hustle writer class. It's not if you want to outsource all of the writing. And let me tell you why. I had a conversation with Steve Scott not long ago, and Steve's a very successful writer in the habits niche, meaning how to break certain habits. And we've both tried outsourcing little parts of writing projects, mostly research and getting some basic draft stuff down about stuff we've asked somebody to research. Both of our experience has been abysmal. It is very, very hard to find good freelance writers that you can outsource to. So the downside, if you're an author, is it's hard to find somebody. The upside, if you're a side hustle writer, is if you're good at it, you can get a lot of work from authors who need to outsource parts of their work. So as a writer, if you want to outsource everything, you're going to have problems. As a freelance writer, it's a good thing. I hope I haven't totally confused you on that one. If you don't want to build an ongoing audience, I don't know that Kindle's that great a fit for you. And if you don't want to take the time to produce a really good book, because you can write a book quickly, you can be an authority in the field. If that book is not written well, you're going to get so hammered in reviews that it has a direct impact on sales. If you need immediate money, and I mean I need money tomorrow or next week, Kindle is not a good fit, because you're going to have to go through the month, the month of sales, and then it's going to take Kindle another month to actually pay you. So there is a real lag time. It's also not a good fit if you have a thin skin, because no matter how good of an author you are, you're going to get some troll hammering you in a review, and it can be painful. I don't even read reviews anymore, because there are people who just love going through any books and giving them really bad reviews. So I hope this gives you a really good overview of the Kindle side hustle. I highly recommend it if it is a good fit for you. It can make you some great money in a very, very quick period of time. I'll say 60 days. And it's kind of my first choice for side hustle money, but it may not be yours. So in the next lesson, I'm going to talk about the freelance writer side hustle, which may be a better fit for you if you don't want to write a book length project.